so much time fixing the cosmetics of our faces and forget the furniture that is inside our heads. That gives me the hashtag number 1. When the face is beautiful and the software is not working, hardware suffers. In more simpler terms, when country is beautiful and the continent is beautiful, but we don't have the brains, our resources will always suffer.
This is actually a fact. I don't know what is wrong with African leaders, but I cannot believe that they all have mental problem. Most of them, they still think like slaves. They don't think out of the box. They still have closed-minded. Even here, the leadership of South Africa, the only solution they can come up with for the South African, it's only VAT. They are scared to make decision on its own. They have to go force relationship with Donald Trump in America. Even Donald Trump makes sure that they understand that he doesn't care about them. He doesn't treat them with respect. He chases them as a man who makes decisions, chasing another man who don't make decisions. This shows that the mind of the Africans are still closed. Let's continue listening the wise words of Mr. Joshua Maponga.
Use your brains for thinking. Calibrate it, populate your mind with positive thinking. Be business of thinking. I've been hanging around enough scholars by now to know some of them say, I think. Meanwhile, they are not thinking, they're just quoting other thinkers. We understand quotations and etc., but we need to grow soon enough to begin to speak from the gut and be honest about where we are and what we really think. And I struggled when I started off in this Pan-African direction until I discovered how to think. Pierre, I had to sit with myself with nothing in front of me. Having finished half of this wall of theological books, and I said to myself, so what? So what? So what? After William Shakespeare, Charles Dickens, by the way, P.T., one of my favorite authors also for indigenous African knowledge systems and etc. You go through systematic theologies, the Louis Beckhoffs, you go through Gerhard Hassel's, go through Didacte, you go through deconstruction, and so what? And I opted to say, I better start thinking. Number 2, you better find where your heart is, because your heart gives you the emotion and the drive to do. If right now all you young people don't want to get married, if your young lady can send you a picture and say, I want you here by tonight, and you have nothing in your pocket, I know you will be there. Don't ask me how. You will make a plan. True or false? You will make a plan. True. You will pawn your phone, you will borrow money, you will do anything, you will Uber, you will taxi, you will make a plan. Therefore, none amongst us here can say, I don't have money, because money follows desire. When you want to do something, you will find the resources to do it. So therefore, your heart is important, because it is the fuel for your transport. Your heart is important. It will drive you to go where you must go. Unfortunately, many of us, our passion are in other things. At the end of the day, we achieve less of what we really need to achieve, because we are preoccupied by cosmetics. Use your head for thinking, H number 1. Use your heart for feeding, H number 2. Use your hand for doing, H number 3. Don't just think about it. Don't just think about it. Do about it. They want to pass, how? Hey, Africa will be free, how? Hey, I'm going to get married, how? And
I fully agree with Joshua Maponga on this matter, because we have had a black president in South Africa. Nothing changes in South Africa. The situation is actually getting worse. We had a president who are black since 1994. But what have they done to make sure that black Africa actually is free? They haven't done anything. They're still using the system that was never meant to build black people, black lives, but to build a white life. Today, as we speak, nothing changes from 1994 till now. Actually, things are worse. They didn't change for the good, they changed for the bad. So, if we are going to live like this, acting, believing that a slave-minded president will change this country, we are just delusional, and we must just wake up and smell the coffee, because it's been a while now. We're thinking that things will get better under this leadership. Things will be better under this leadership. Nothing is getting better. It's actually worse. So we need to face this as it is. We need to be honest. We need to do whatever it needs to be done to free ourselves. Because this is no longer slaves like back in 90s, where you can't buy bread, you can't do all this, you have to carry your ID book all the time. This slavery is something modern, it's different, it's no longer the same. Now, the leaders are slaves, are working for money. That's my problem. They are working for money, not for the people, not even for themselves, because money doesn't make. No one respects the leadership of South Africa as we speak right now. When they come, I am 100% sure people love it. They say, here comes the puppet. And it's not a nice thing. No man will have to feel like that. But that's just the truth. We as the people, we need to see these things as they are. Bishop Maponga says we must face the reality. Hoping things will get better one day. How? What will make those things better?
When it is the how part that separates infatuation, emotions, ideas to practical applications. So think about that, feel about that, do about that. I went to the market this morning. Can you put this together for me? I think I look sharp, didn't it? Don't be jealous now, don't be jealous now. This is all okay. And I went to the market this morning, and I decided to dress up myself and free myself. And others are wondering what is underneath. Nothing. None of your business, nothing. In fact, those who have done biology, you must walk freely. Africans knew that male health is important, and all these tight jeans we put, they're actually a problem to reproduction and other things. But we'll talk about that on another health expo. But there's nothing wrong with you walking around and leave them hanging. Is that okay? I went to the market and I bought myself a tool that I'm holding in my hand. I have lots of them in my house, more than 65 of them. Every time I travel, I buy sticks. Anyone who says that our forefathers could not write, it is him or her who cannot read. Because their writing was different from our writings. They wrote in art, they wrote in craft, they wrote in pieces of furniture. When you look at my hand,
it says our ancestors didn't know how to read, are the ones who don't know how to read. They didn't write in English. They didn't write in a way whereby you will simply understand if you are not wise. They were writing in drawings. That's how they were explaining their story. And those who says our ancestors were not smart, I would love to argue with them and differ with them and tell them that the people who built the pyramids are not smart. You know how old the pyramids are and still standing strong, tall, generating lights on its own without bulbs inside. For how many years? I think there are a lot that we are going to discover and we have to learn, and we have to be honest with such things. We have to focus and learn. Our ancestors were smartest people in the world. The things that they did, it was special. And everyone came to Africa to learn. But today, everyone leaves Africa to go learn outside Africa. Everyone wants to go outside Africa and learn. Leave all the information here at home and go outside to seek something. And all those who learn outside Africa, they're not bringing anything special. They actually stay that side. So we need to emancipate our minds.
It's not just a mind, it's a full dietary menu. You must eat green, you must eat yellow, you must eat orange, you must eat what? You can have this, that, and actually be healthier than you think. It is a menu. You can also take this hat and go to the bush, and you'll find that it is a key to herbs. You can take this hat and go to biology, and you'll find that actually every color that is connected to the members of the body At the end of the day, the colors of my head, the colors of the herbs, and the colors of your organs are all linked up together. So that our forefathers knew these things and they put them in pieces of art. And then you say it's demonic and it is satanic. No wonder you're on diabetes tablets and you have a problem with sugar, with hypertension. Because you undermine knowledge and you exalt what is meaningless. I hold in my hand here a piece of stick as I'm closing, which has 7 divisions on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Can you read after me? 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I challenge you, if you're in Kenya, please go to this market just down the road here. Go and buy yourself one of these babies, put it in a nice frame, and you buy it in remembrance of me. After today, this will never be the same again. Are you ready? On your marks, get set, go. Colonization has 7 pillars that hold it together. Pillar number 1 is what we call sports and recreation.
This is true. You know, most of the South African people can't have conversation, especially men. We cannot come together have a normal conversation. They all want to talk about soccer. You saw, we're gonna beat you, we're gonna beat you. You know, Chiefs fans hate Sundowns fans. Sundowns fans hate Chiefs fans. Pirates fans fighting with Chiefs fans all the time. They even verbally in war when we are watching the game. How many hours we spend there watching the game? A lot of hours, getting drunk. Out of all the things we say about the soccer, about wrestling, all those kind of stupid games, as you get home, you sit alone and ask yourself questions like, how will that nonsense I spent time on will change my life? I can guarantee you it's not going to change you anyhow. If you go home and sit down and make a video and post it on YouTube, you don't know, you may be like one day and then things start to run. You don't have time for that. You have time to argue with another man about another man's team. For me, I feel like at some point as you grow up, you have to realize that no, this is not the right thing. Actually, this sports thing is actually taking my time. It's part of distraction. For example, if you look how they treat the black athletes when it's athletics time, if you pay attention and notice how they hate our people, that's when you realize that no, this was never meant to unite, because all the time they show disrespect, they show hate towards black people. Roy Jones Jr. was crying when he was cheated on the Olympics. It didn't end there. Floyd Mayweather Jr. was cheated and robbed in front of millions of white people and black people, and they got away with it. Shakur Stevenson was cheated in front of the world. It didn't end there, and they don't do that only to men. They even do to women. It continues and continues. But what we do as people, we have time to argue about soccer, about something that is not going to change our lives with anything. I think we really need healing. We really need to love one another and be able to have meaningful conversations.
Come with me. Sports and recreation, entertainment, where we're spending hundreds of hours watching 12, 21, 2 people, 3 people, if it is soccer, 22 men who badly need rest, being watched by 65 million who badly need exercise. People will fight over Arsenal, over Barcelona, fight over buying t-shirts and etc. Entertainment, and they forget whatever enters you attains you. So we are occupied in entertainment, as if as Africans we do not have a way of entertaining ourselves. Unfortunately, pardon me, some of you who are soccer and tennis addicts, some of these sports are stupid. Literally stupid. You must look at African sports where we have stones put on the ground in 2 rows this side, 2 rows that side. You must calculate 1, 2, I now have 4. 4 plus, I now have 8. 8 here, grab 2 there, grab 4 there, 4 plus 8 plus 2 plus 6, I now have 12. And you count up these things, we did arithmetic, and in case you did not know, these are some of the basic binary sciences which are now using in terms of computer science. And we throw away these games for some stupid little Arsenal t-shirts of a team that is in Timbuktu and Honolulu that we don't even know. And we beat each other up, and we fight with our wives and the husbands because our teams have lost. I think we have lost our minds. Entertainment is one pillar. They know that if these people can keep them busy, keep them busy. 6 hours, the stadium opens at 8, 9 in the morning. The game is at 3 in the afternoon. People are all waiting for those 90 minutes. How much time do you lose watching movies? How much time do you lose being entertained? And whoever is entertaining you is occupying your mind and populating with foreign information. Come on, put your hand and say, no illegal immigrants here. I will say it like you believe it. No illegal immigrants here. Because you find yourself dressing in a certain way, talking in a certain way, and you don't know why. I mean, I've had friends, let's call them, who went to America for 2 weeks. They came back, oh, man, you and me. You know what I'm saying? For crying out loud. Like 2 weeks. The mind is totally corrupted. That's entertainment. Pillar number 2, education. Say after me. Pillar number 1. You don't fail in my class. If you fail, you are beyond teaching. You must claim all your school fees back. Number 1 is entertainment, sports, and recreation. Watch out the stuff that entertains you and occupies you and wastes your time. Number 2, education.
Education. At school, history, at primary, at high school, they don't teach nothing about African education, African life. They teach us about Hitler, how Hitler was killing, how Hitler was so brutal. Why should we care about Hitler being brutal? Because Queen Elizabeth was also brutal, owning a lot of countries in Africa. They made her a queen to own a lot of Africans. But we're not learning about that. But we learn about Hitler. Why specific Hitler? They teach us how colonized we are, how they destroyed our ancestors, Shaka Zulus, all those people, how they demolished and do all the bad things to the African people. Till this day, we are still using that same systems, but we call ourselves free. And I can guarantee you that I don't think they teach the Germans about South Africa. I don't think they teach the British about South Africa, but only the South Africans and other African countries are learning about foreigners. Why must we be taught about foreigners instead of teaching ourselves about African invention, things that are happening in Africa, how to take Africa from where it is to the next level? But we've been taught about Hitler, Napoleon. We've been taught about these people. Till this day, our leaders are still slaves mentally. Let's not all be distracted by these people. They distract us deliberately.
Here, talk for the whole day. What you call formal education is informal education. Ask me why. Ask me why. Because when you finish it, they want 1 year experience. And then you wonder, for the past 18 years, I've been studying primary school, high school, college, graduated. I hereby apply for a job. And then they say, you want 1 year experience. Shut up. Where do you think I get it from? I just walked out of college. There's no way I can have experience. What you call formal education is actually informal education. But our indigenous education is formal education. Because by the time you finish it, you know how to do it. Secrets and sacred are 2 different words. Secrets, we keep information away from you because we don't want you to know. Sacred, we only share with you because you must experience it. So who is knowledgeable? The one who knows secrets or the one who has gone through sacred? Sacred is experiential because you are being, you are becoming. As you experience, you learn. Learning is not detached. God is not hiding in a book, Professor. That must go and look for him in John 3:16. This is what made parallel with theologians. He said, do you know God? Go and read the Bible. Oh my God, all creator of the universe hiding in a small little book somewhere. There's much more to life than us looking for the universe in a small little booklet. Look at nature. Look at the wind. Look at the food you're eating. Look at the process of childbirth. Look at all these things, and you tell me that you cannot see the divine hand wiggling its way in the affairs of mankind? But education we've been given teaches us how to write CVs. Our education is a passport to foreign lands. Our education is not practical. No wonder you find a teacher applying for a job instead of opening a school. Your whole doctor is not a qualified doctor, but he's applying for a job. Then you wonder, what did you study? You studied to be an employee, not to become the champion of your own destiny. Let me fly. Entertainment, education. Number 3, health and technology. Here is where many of us are dying, digging our graves with our teeth. The removal of our indigenous foods gave us plastic foods. And the pharmaceutical companies, they make money out of our sicknesses. And I'm glad everyone sitting in front of me today came through COVID. Are you awake now? Are you woke now? Some of us rushed to do vaccinations and etc.
Health and technology. Healthy lifestyle you will only get from healthy people. Looking at the current president and the leadership, are they all healthy? If not, why would they prioritize health? They don't care about health. Because if they care so much about health, they will take care of their people in a healthy way, in a healthy manner. If you go through the cities shows unhealthiness all over. And it is deliberately made to look like that. Unhealthy leadership will always bring unhealthy lifestyle. Unhealthy mind can never succeed. Unhealthy mind can never come with healthy ideas. You don't have to look far. You just need to look the leadership. How are they looking? How are they talking? How are they acting? They are not healthy. Because if they were healthy, they will come up with healthy solutions. The only solutions they come with is vet. How's that healthy for poor people? Simple, because they are not healthy.
You are in your hand if you know. Sorry for not you guys. You guys are good white people. When a white man says it, our fellow black people will rapidly lose their heads because some little skew-eyed boy called Bill Gates can say what he says. No, you need to be vaccinated. Did he vaccinate himself? And here we are, all of us running with medications. We don't know the impact. I was reading the other day all these vaccinations and contraceptions and chicken pox and what that is coming to Kenya. Your cows are going to be vaccinated and what. I'm not going to be eating beef from Kenya in a very long time. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Because I know a witch in my village. A witch is the one who treats what is not sick. When you are sleeping at night and you are healthy, and then someone comes in the night when you are sleeping and then they give you medicine to treat you and you are not sick. Now anyone who is treating a person who is not sick is a witch. By the way, in our villages, we don't have witch doctors. It was actually a science. They were asking, which craft is this? Not witchcraft. It was witchcraft. As much as you have aircrafts, we have crafts in Shona. These are crafts. So when they saw a woman moving her hands on top of a pregnant woman, and the baby would move and face the right direction, the white man looked and said, witchcraft. What science is this? So before you call after this witchcraft, and you call our practice witchcraft, you may want to find out even bullets. Gunpowder used to be witchcraft dust until someone was able to put it in a brass barrel Now it is a science of war. So until we can find some few people who can convert those who know how to make lightning, maybe we have enough electricity. If we can find those who know how to fly at night, maybe we don't need to buy air tickets. You just go to the back of the house, take off your clothes and sit on the mat. You are there by tomorrow morning. Until this thing, now we're talking and you're not laughing. But remember that the time when they discovered the cell phone, who thought that some people would talk without a line? Are we not using cell phones now? Is this not witchcraft? Now, before the end of this year, next year, we're going to be having holograms. Maponga does not need to come here. Put a big camera there, put a big thing here, put a big screen here, and Maponga right in Johannesburg, hello, Nairobi. You'll be seeing my ghost right here, without me being here. Is that not witchcraft? Oh, because there's a science behind it. And it can be repeated again and again. Then it stops being witchcraft. It starts being a science. So even going to heaven is witchcraft. Who has ever been there? You can't even prove it. But then that's a subject for another day. Entertainment, education, health and technology. Our technologies were moved away from us. Let me fly faster. Business and economics. Business and one. One, two. But you know that professors also get things wrong. Professors, what's happening here? One, two, three, four. Business and economics. Money is stupid. Someone prints $100 American to print a.
This was always my problem. I always think about the system of Africa and the relationship with other countries. The African countries don't print their own money. They use France money, they use other countries' money. Those guys take papers, print them, put ink on them, and bring it to our countries. And then our countries give them gold, diamond, uranium. You can name all the minerals that they are taking from South Africa with just an exchange of money. Papers. You could ask yourself, if this is not slavery, if a president is an old man who can think out of the box, who can think for himself, why is he allowing to give people minerals for papers? How will that papers help? Because they have those papers under the mattress. They can't even save them anymore because the papers are just worthless. They put a spell on the papers and say, you buy only with this. We're gonna come, buy all the minerals we want with the papers. They can create printed billion, bring it to South Africa, buy whatever they want worth of billion. Even worse, borrow South African billions of money, billions of printed money in South Africa or other African country, take that printed money and go share it with the politicians, and then they say, the money is missing. The money is missing because it can be. They take the gold to their countries, do whatever they want, come back, sell it trillions. We are being led by the low IQs. We need to be honest. And we as youth, if we are going to entertain such things, it's done. We must wake up and focus and face these things just the way they are. No excuses.
$100 American costs you 18 cents. 18 cents. And you bring a bag full of 18 cents papers in a briefcase, and you collect gold from Africa, and you leave us a bunch of papers. There's no value. In our old business model, we used to barter value for value. Now, who can buy land? Who can buy a cow? And at the end of the year, the cow you bought from me has given birth to another cow, 100% of the initial purchase. And the following year, another one, 100%, 300%. Tell me which bank will give you 300% profit on any investment, except if it's a big scheme. So our form of business and economics was removed from land, and it was moved to the bank. When you get to the bank, without land, you have no guarantees. So here is the African as a slave, working for papers to buy the food to the land he was disenfranchised from and the vicious cycle of poverty started in Africa. When you take away land from us, we don't even have the right of reproduction. Look at a lion, walks in the bush, and it pees on some few trees. Pees on some few trees, marking its territory. After it has put its wing in a territory, then it comes here and starts reproducing. Without land, it is illegal to reproduce. Every man must have 2 wives. Come on, put your hands together. Every man must have 2 wives. The first wife is land. The second wife is the one who makes children for you. Oh, women are finally happy now, yeah? I will see you. What are you in a hurry for? First wife is land. Because if you don't have land, you're going to give birth to poverty. And you cannot impregnate your wife, and then you are going to beg food. You beg for food to look after your children. Young ladies who are here, when a man says, I love you, don't say why. Stupid question. Ask where. You get the difference? Don't say, I love you, I love you. Say, why? That question is for kindergarten. Say where. Who has ever slept with a man or a woman on WhatsApp or on Facebook? You need an address. Kona, Lutanga, and Julius Nyerere. Meet me there. Meet me at Formula 1. Where is it? In Krinyamba, that one. You need an address. Therefore, without an address, even love cannot take place. Without land, it's illegal to reproduce. When land was taken away from us, we were castrated even to the point of non-reproduction. Now you ask all these men, how many children do you want to have? 1 or 2? Why? I can't afford. 1 or 2? Why? I can't afford. So it's not an issue of affordability. Just sunk us into poverty. Entertainment, education, health and technology, business and economics. This one is for you, remember? Governance. Governance. The Roman Dutch law is a marine law, which is meant for those who have gone to sea, so that when they come back from sea, their property is safe.
Today, our African leaders who are governing us today, they are not governing us from African laws. They are governing us from the British, the Germans, the USA laws, not according to African laws. And how is those governments going to benefit African people when the laws were meant to destroy Africa? How will we ever have a healthy world? How will we ever have a healthy life when we are still pushing the laws that were never meant for us? And if you think of it, the laws can be changed, but they need a strong man to be able to say, this law is not favorable for my people, and I care about my people. I want a better law for my people. Therefore, I'm changing this and this. There are slavery laws that are still working today, implemented in a slavery world. They are still being pushed, and the leadership today who are in government don't even want to talk about that. They want to be ignorant, I don't know, up until they die or leave. Because literally we are being led by people who don't care at all. So, for change to come, we need new laws, African laws, not law for British in Africa.
I don't know how the Roman Dutch law, which is a marine law, ended up as a law on the land. We as Africans work with the natural law. Isn't it funny that Africans, all of us, most of us were colonized by the British, by the Germans and the Portuguese. We are struggling with the legal framework that does not even have the first item on the law document. Jurisdiction. In which territory does this law work? And the description is simple. Roman Dutch law. So where must it work? In Rome and amongst the Dutch. Keep it there. Now, how do you export and import Roman Dutch law to Africa? It comes with its own religion, comes with its own marriages, comes with its own structures, comes with its own legal frameworks, which have become a nightmare for African governments. They swear themselves out only to discover they cannot change anything. Tied by the very colonial legislative framework. changing partners every 5 years. Remember, you get married this year, 5 years later, goodbye, another partner. You get married again, 5 years later, goodbye. How come I've never heard the British changing their leader? How come I've never heard Dubai changing their leader? How come I've never heard Singapore changing their leader so often? How come I've never heard China changing their leaders so often? How come I've never heard Russia changing their leaders so often? Don't you know that when you get a good quality leader, you can keep him in power to achieve what he can achieve much more than this diaper changing of administrators every 5 years. You get into a vicious cycle, exchanging high-class resources, and always wondering how come the sheep are disappearing. One thief eats, before he is finished eating, another one comes hungrier than the one who was there, spending millions. I've seen African politicians, my tongue will turn. They have $20-30 million to spend on election. They don't have 1 million to buy beds in hospital. They don't have 50,000 to fix problems that go to their own houses. But talk about elections and power. Now I know politics is a prostitute of economics. Governance, our own ways of ruling ourselves. Sovereignty is not found in democracy, it is found in our monarchical royal systems, like the Dutch do, like the British do. Have power, land everything, centralize it at a place where no one can steal, take it away, keep it in custody for the whole nation. Are you embarrassed as Kenya that all the politicians are buying land, thousands of hectares of land, which they don't even use? And you wonder, where do they get this money? Because when you look at their salary, and you look at the land which they have bought, you did accounts more than I do. This is not make sure. It doesn't come out together nicely. But our governance protects the thieves and sacrifices the man who stole bread. He's a thief. But the one who steals from the government coffers is an MP. Number 6, agriculture, the green one.
The Afrikaners in South Africa understand this one much better. That is why as soon as the government talk about taking the land and distribute with everyone in South Africa, they cry as if like it's a crime. Today, we must go through America, we must go through all the nonsense. When they came and took the land, they never go through anyone, they just took it forcefully. But today, the weak leadership wants to debate this in court, wants to debate this in parliament. We don't want debate, we want the land back. The South African people are living in occupied small places when the rich white people owning the big land, being able to build on that land. When you talk, they tell you that you can buy the land. With what? Because when you work, you're earning 6.5, 7.5. How will it take you to buy land? For how long? When you earn such salary. Our mothers, our fathers who are garden men and kitchen women today, how are they going to buy land? We need to be realistic and focus on this matter like decisively. And looking at the leadership of the ANC, it's playing games with the South African people. They act as if they are fighting with the DA. They are same thing. Cyril Ramaphosa don't care. Fikile Mbalula don't care. Who cares? No one cares at the ANC. They just talk, and when you look at Johannesburg, you're like, what are they talking about? These guys don't care at all. The land is the most important thing. Today, as we speak, you can't own the land in USA. Donald Trump, who criticized South African laws when it comes to the land, he will never allow us owning the land in America. But he wants the Afrikaners to remain power in ownership of the South African land. When the Afrikaners are less in South Africa, the majority of South Africa is black, but they are suffering, and the minority owning the land. When you talk about this, they cry, complain, they lie and say South Africa is committing genocide. Which genocide? they won't tell, but they will do whatever it takes to make sure that South Africa don't live in peace in their own land. No South African people give Dutch, Netherlands, Australia problems, but the black South Africans, the black people in the world are suffering in all those countries that I just mentioned, including in USA. We see the videos of the white police killing a lot of black people, but we are okay. We just obeying, keep on following, keep on doing whatever they tell us to do, even if it's not working in our favor. At some point, we as black people, we need to recognize that we are being nice too much. Things got to change, as in like right now.
How educated are you if you cannot feed yourself? Can't feed yourself. Supermarkets close, you die. Food is basic to life. Health is wealth. Without good health, even the richest man is poor. And finally, the white represents spirituality. What governs our ethics, our morality, and how we live in this world. Entertainment, education, health and technology, business and economics, governance, agriculture, spirituality.
Spirituality is one of my favorite topics because I feel that there's a necessity for us to dwell on this, to preach and maybe make news about this every now and then, so that our people can come back. They are gone, consciously gone. People, when they have problems, they just take a Bible, choose a scripture that matches with how they feel, they go with it. That's it. Everything is fine from there. They just believe and everything is fine. Doesn't even teach accountability. They just go there, find something, and then that's it. I think spirituality, it is the main issue and main problem why we are where we are right now. I think if we decolonize ourselves and we still keeping the churches, we are still colonized. Because if we don't know how churches came about, we will just go and continue with the nonsensical things that have done to our ancestors. You have to educate yourself. You have to deeply educate yourselves. Ask questions. Anything that cannot be questionable, it's got everything to hide. But everything that is questionable, it's got everything to teach. And when you are hiding something, you are not teaching, you are misleading. I would love to hear a lot of youth, a lot of people focusing too much on spirituality, on African spirituality. Some of you don't even know how the word J came about. It's not so long ago. You don't even know the word J when it was introduced. You don't know that. Here in Africa, we never used words to describe our Bible and our things. They were using drawings. But today, we are calling upon Jesus. And when we talk about Jesus, people get emotional, angry, they lose control. They don't even want to hear nothing. They want to fight. That's how deeply people are lost. It's going to take years and years, but we must fight until we get ourselves together. A lot of people will do anything to protect their churches, even if their church is not doing anything. I've been going to Bazalwane churches. The only important man is a pastor. They don't care about people sitting in uncomfortable chairs. As long as they buy a pastor car, it's okay. Pastor home, it's okay. Brother doesn't have shoes. Sister doesn't have nice shoes, nice clothes. That's not important. They don't come together and fundraise and say, this month we're gonna fundraise for Sister Mamang and we're gonna give that sister 4,000 to buy her clothes and choose nice clothes so that she can be presentable and come to church with open heart, not worried about what you're gonna wear. It's not going to happen. The pastor need all the commission, and all the money must go straight to pastor's pockets. We need to teach too much about spirituality.
The three ribbons you see on my side of my head: the past, the present, and the future. Look into the past. How did they entertain themselves? How did they educate themselves? How did they heal themselves? How did they do business? You can take the 7 interrogatives and cascade them onto the stick. Then you have the 7 by 7, the first 49 questions of how to deal with deconstructing the mind of an African. Then after those 7, then take the 3 past tense, present tense, and future tense, and recascade it, and you start getting into a spiral web of asking the right questions so that you can get the right answers. This is how I want you to think. This is how I want you to feel. This is how I want you to do.